tutorial on the song Sunflower by Malone featuring Swae Lee. This guitar lesson will be focusing on both the synth parts and the guitar parts played on an acoustic guitar. And it'll go through different sections. One will be chords, and then we'll go through the rhythm and the strumming, and then we'll go through the picking parts. So if you want to skip to a certain section of the tutorial or a certain section of the song, look in the description below and you'll find some timestamps to skip along to. First, we're going to go over the basic shapes used in this song. So there are going to be some variations of these shapes throughout the song, but most of the shapes will stay close to these. The first chord is a D chord. To form the D chord, you're going to place your second finger on the second fret of the first string. Then you're going to place your third finger on the third fret of the second string, and then first finger on the second fret of the third string. You're going to start your pick on the fourth string and strum down. The next chord is a G chord. This version of the G chord will use your fourth finger on the third fret of the first string, then your third finger on the third fret of the second string, your first finger on the second fret of the fifth string, and then your second finger on the third fret of the sixth string. For this chord, you can strum all of the strings down. Your third chord is an E minor 7, and this version of the E minor 7 will stay kind of close to the G chord. So coming from G, all you have to do is move your second finger from the third fret of the sixth string to the second fret of the fourth string. So right there. And again, you can strum all of your strings. And now I'm going to go over the sequence of chords within the song. And so first we're going to start with a D, and we're going to play that for 2 measures, or 2 counts of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then G. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then E minor 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then back to G. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you wanted a basic way of playing the song, you can just play it like that and not worry about all the rhythm and picking in between. You can still get the basic core of the song just by playing those chords. So the rhythm that I use in the intro of the video follows the synth part of the song. And it'll be using an 8th note count, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And your strums will either fall on 1, 2, 3, 4, or on the and beats in between them. So first, let's just start off by doing the rhythm on the D chord. And let's start off by hitting the D chord on beat 1 and the and of 2. So ready, and 1, 2, and. So we can repeat that a few times, and I'll start slow, and then we'll build it up as we go. So ready, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. And again, ready, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. Ready, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. Ready, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. So if you're having trouble with the rhythm at any section of the song, just go back and repeat that part of the rhythm a few times. We're going to add another rhythm to the and of 1 of the second measure of the D chord. So ready, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. So repeat that one a few times too. Ready, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. The last part of this rhythm will add a hit on the and of 2 of the second measure. So ready, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So repeat that one a few times too. Ready, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Ready, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Ready, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Then after you're comfortable with that, just on the D chord, you can add in the chord changes to it. So we'll do D, and then G, and then E minor, and then G. So I'll demonstrate that right now, and you can play along if you want. 1, 2, ready, and D, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Then G, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. E minor, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Then G, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Next, we're going to be going over the fill-in notes that happen between your chords, and we will be using a 16th note count this time. So that'll be 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. The E and a counts are there to indicate hits that happen between your previous eighth notes. So coming from your D rhythm, you're going to play D all the way through. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And on the and a counts of that 4, you're going to play E, hammering on to F sharp. So on and a of 4, E to F sharp, and that's open of the 6th string, your lowest string, hammering on to the 2nd fret of that 6th string. And if you need to know how to hammer on, all you do is you play the lower note, and then you put your fretting hand onto the 2nd note without picking a 2nd time. So I'll demonstrate that going from D into the G chord with the fill-in note. So 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and a 1. So continuing on from G, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, 4. On the and of that 4, you're going to hit A, hammering on to B this time. So that's going to be open of the 5th string, hammering on to the 2nd fret of the 5th string. So coming from G, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and a. Then you go back to E minor 7. So continuing on from the E minor 7 chord, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and you're going to do E hammering on to F sharp again. So from the E minor 7 chord again, going into G, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and a 1. And then you're going to continue on with your G rhythm, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3. And on the 4 and the and, you're going to hit 2 notes. On the 4, you're going to hit an A note, which is the open of the 5th string. And then you're going to hit a D note, which is open of the 4th string. So 4 and. Coming from G, this is what that'll sound like. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and. And then I'll demonstrate what that sounds like put together. So ready, and from D, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and a 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and a 1, 2, and 3, the arpeggio parts in the B section of the song. And what arpeggios are they're taking the chord, just like, for example, the D chord, but instead of strumming the whole thing, we're going to be picking out the notes within that chord. So the first chord we're going to be using is a D sus2, which is really similar to a D chord. You can form your D chord and just release your second finger, and you have a D sus2. Now we're going to start with a couple of down picks on the 4th string, 3rd string, and 2nd string. This will all follow an 8th note pattern, and I'll count that so you know where you're hitting your notes. So ready, and 1 and 2. And then on the next 8th note, you're going to pick upwards on the 1st string. So 1 and 2 and. So down, 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 up. Going straight down your D sus2 chord. 1 and 2 and. And then next on the and of 3, you're going to keep the D sus2 held down, and you're going to pick your 2nd string upward. So 1 and 2 and 3 and. So slowly, 1 and 2 and 3 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now on the and of 4, you're going to pick your 3rd string upwards. Ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And on the and of 1, you're going to start your downwards arpeggio again. You're going to hit the 4th string and 3rd string on the and of 1 and on 2. So 1 and 2. And then on the and of 2, you're going to hit your 2nd string upwards. So that's 1 and 2 and then on the and of 3, you're going to hit your 3rd string upwards. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Put that together with your first part of this arpeggio section, and you have ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's using arpeggios on D sus2. Next, you're going to be doing an arpeggio on the G chord. So you're going to do an 8th note pattern going downward again, starting on 1, holding down G, and you're going to play your 6th string, your 4th string, and your 3rd string, all downward. And then you're going to pick your 2nd string upwards. So 1 and 2 and. That's down, 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 up. Then you're going to release your 3rd finger of your fretting hand, and you're going to pick that 2nd string again on the and of 3. So 1 and 2 and 3 and then on the and of 4, you're going to pluck your 3rd string upwards as well. So together, that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then coming in from your D sus2 chord, going into the G chord with arpeggios, this is what you have. Ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you're going to just hold out the G chord throughout that next measure. And then you're going to go to E minor 7, doing a similar 8th note downward arpeggio, starting on the 6th string, then 5th string, 4th string, all downwards. So 1 and 2, and then you're going to hit the 2nd string upwards, following that 8th note rhythm. So 1 and 2 and then on the and of 3, you're going to hit your 3rd string upwards. So 1 and 2 and 3 and. That's ready and down, 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 up, up. And on the and of 4, you're going to hit your 4th string upwards. So ready and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to play that same thing on the E minor 7, that same pattern, but you're going to get rid of the and of 4. So it'll be ready and 1 and 2 and 3 and then just stop there. So putting those 2 runs of E minor 7 together, you have this, ready and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and then you're going to go back to the same G arpeggio you did earlier, same exact rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3, release and 4 and. So putting that E minor 7 and the G together, you have this, ready and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you're going to leave that last measure blank. Now putting all those arpeggios together, going from D sus2 to the G to E minor 7 and then to G, this is what you have. Ready and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 E minor 7, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, that's my lesson on Sunflower by Post Malone featuring Swae Lee. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you found it helpful. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment box below. And if you enjoyed the video or if you found it helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. Thanks for watching. Hope to catch you in the next video.